All right, so that's my talk here. Safety and mobility application with multi-agent system and data analytics. I'm Mattia Pass. I'm representing the VT Scores group. Some of my grad students have also been involved in this. So I'm going to go quickly, trying to do a 1-hour presentation in 4 minutes. Let's see how successful I will be. As a background, this is a multi-agent system. So what is happening is that we define agents at the very bottom layer. Those could be people, pedestrians, could be vehicles, could be decision makers, could be controllers, and anything else. In the middle layer, you have the system. So in this case, a transportation system, and that's where all these agents are interacting with each other. On the top, that's the architect, by the way, if you can see the picture. That's where you make your decisions, and that's where you're catching performance measures. So things like safety and mobility and accessibility and all of that could be calculated and assessed at that level. So this is the vision. This is the thing that we wanted to achieve and the kind of data that could fit in here. Over here, basically, looking at the naturalistic driving data, trying to model the actual behavior of drivers using that data, so making those agents be very representative so that we can combine safety and mobility at the same time. And once you have that, and you could incorporate that in any simulation software, of course it is going to give you some sort of heat maps. In this case, I'm looking at safety. The idea would be, how do I capture the actual conditions at the road? So that's where the data that is coming from smarter roads could fit in so that we can calibrate and we can produce the system. And once that is done, you can test different strategies and see what works and what improves things. So the first data set is the naturalistic driving data, the training input, vehicle speed, the difference in speed between the vehicle and the vehicle in front, the difference in distance, and the U angle, so that you can incorporate car following with lane changing at the same time. The output is acceleration and steering, using some neuro-fuzzy reinforcement learning techniques, so machine learning and analytics comes in the picture here. Continuous actions are generated, and basically what we end up with is an individual agent who is combining acceleration and steering behavior together. So if I'm going to do this the smart way, so I'm going to just tell you what this is, and going to come back to it if you ask me a question about it. But that's what is happening here, is you are capturing the state of the driver, approaching, speeding, decelerating, accelerating, and the policies that the driver is following using the actor critic reinforcement learning. Without going into much detail, I can tell you that this approach is analogous to playing a chess game, winning at the end rather than just focusing on the next step that the driver is doing. So I was playing with the data yesterday, and this is some data, the acceleration, the longitudinal behavior, this is the lateral behavior. I wanted to name the agent. Of course, I don't know where that came from, so I called it data star. And what you can see here is the data points are these dots, and the lines are the actual agent behavior. So the agent, data star, is very successful in capturing exactly what this driver is doing, and this is Virginia star. So again, you will see a different data set is being captured very nicely. Now the question is, how do I use the smarter roads crash data so I can have those heat maps and try to match one heat map to another? So this is delving into the smarter roads data using the Tableau software and just zooming in to see what kind of crashes are in there. The idea now would be, if I simulate using my system, I can compare to this. The calibration would be, how many Atas are there, how many Virginias are there, how many Cassis are there, all these different things being mixed together to produce this. Then you can do before-after analysis. Other thing I thought that would be cool to show you would be, okay, so I'm looking at the number of crashes happening per hour. And I thought, what if I want to try to convince you that we're living in a matrix? And I want to show you that the matrix has you. So I'm taking every frequency of crashes, turning them into a different musical note. And that would be, the sound of injury is these waves in the background. The fatalities are the notes that you're hearing. So if you want to be creepy and tell people what kind of matrix we're living in. These are the sound of safety right now. You want me to go through summary or stop right here? I still have time, right? Okay, so quickly, possibilities and impact, developing library of agents, including disadvantaged population, because you can have an agent for every different kind of driver. Calibrate the agent distribution in the simulation to replicate safety performance, and then evaluate potential improvement strategies. Innovation, combining the car following and lane changing for normal and safety, and then more accurate modeling. You could accommodate disruptive technologies now with connected automated data, because you can have effective those technologies in there and can replicate existing safety performance and mobility congestion in a region. I'm going to start with this. If you saw the matrix, you know exactly where this is. If you don't know it, please watch the matrix.
So it's not clear to me that I didn't hear anything about who's the customer in this. Like, there's a lot of capability, but I didn't hear anything about a specific problem that you're solving for a specific customer.
The customer would be the engineers everywhere, traffic engineers, transportation engineers. The actual software that we have now for simulation and modeling to evaluate safety is not accurate. It is not capturing the behavior correctly. So people cannot really evaluate better strategies if they are using those tools that they have, because they're going to get wrong results.
So it's a platform. It's an analysis platform.
It's an analysis platform for evaluation and assessment of different engineering solutions.
So would this overlap, it sounds like this overlaps external sources like the data you were provided and an agent, as you're calling it, source. Would that agent data come from their phone? I mean, how do you get some of the more complex data sources that you're talking about, like acceleration, and is that, obviously beyond everyone having a Tesla, I mean, is that from input from a phone then?
In this case, it is from the naturalistic driving data. That's one of the sources of the data that was listed in the hackathon. In a better world, that would be from the phone. If everyone has that app, then you can get all of this data. One small figure that I did not dwell into is if you have this agent trained to follow the rules that you are doing, then it could warn you in a specific day that you're not driving like every day. Maybe you had a 5-year spouse, maybe you shouldn't be driving. It captures those differences.
Yeah, I think you might want to consider the insurance companies. They have those devices now where they track, driver behavior and reduce their insurance or raise it. I don't know, maybe they can do that if it's not safe.
Yeah, those exist. And that would be a very cool source of data for this kind of technology.
Thank you.